up, we have Ole Miss at Alabama. This is always an intriguing game because it's Lane Kiffin versus Nick Saban, but then usually Nick Saban wins this matchup. But this year is a little different. Obviously, Ole Miss is coming in 3-0. They're scoring what is it, 50? I think it was 52.7 points a game. They're scoring a lot. Jackson Dart is playing really well at quarterback. They're able to run the ball well. Defense is playing okay. So you got to have a little bit of momentum coming in this game. Whereas Alabama really struggled against South Florida last week. I heard a lot this week that maybe the reason Jalen Monroe didn't play is because he was suspended for some reason, and they're not really releasing a lot of information. But that would explain why they just went to Tyler Buckner with no reasoning for it. But yeah, I mean, him and Ty Simpson did absolutely nothing in that game. As a former Notre Dame player, I am very, very happy he's no longer our quarterback. No offense, Tyler Buckner.
I'm
But yeah,
sure
no,
he's very
yeah,
upset you said that, Tony.
I know. But yeah, no, like if Jalen Monroe's back, I think gives a little more spark. I think Alabama's not going to be a great national title team this year, but if Monroe plays, they have a chance to beat team because he's that athletic and can make plays with his legs. So it'd be interesting to see this game because it's, can they stop him running and make him a passer? Because he could do it against Texas. Would he have the same issues again? He has he can throw it up, and if some of those receivers can actually make some plays, maybe they can get something going here. I just don't think they have the receivers that can go out and do that. But what do you think?
This is a really tough one to pick because Alabama just has not looked good. I mean, the fact that it was even remotely close against USF last week is like the alarms are blaring, there in Alabama. But this is at Bama. Really depending on who's playing quarterback for them can really affect this. If there is a suspension, have you heard that if it was like a 1-game thing? What did they really just was like, you know what? It's USF. Let's just, look into another quarterback. Like, do you know any more about like why behind the switch, or should we expect, Monroe to come back in against Ole Miss here?
Yeah.
It's
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's been named the starter again, and I
Okay.
think like
Okay.
yeah, so he's definitely going to be playing. Like that's why I said I think he was suspended. I mean, that's what it seems like because he just disappeared. He didn't come in as a backup or anything in the last game, so it made you think like why. And I think the reason is he's suspended for some reason. And there was like a players only meeting after the game talking. Whenever there's a players only meeting, there's some situation going on because
Mhm.
that doesn't happen in Alabama.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
First
So
time I remember hearing about this.
there's some
Alabama.
issues. Yeah, there's some issues here.
Yeah, I mean, it's Nick Saban though. Like it's one thing when I pick Texas over because Texas, they've got all of this ridiculous high-end talent. They got They got 2 wide receivers that could potentially go in the first round. They have a tight end who it might be the number 1 tight end in a draft if Brock Bowers just didn't exist. They've got all these great pieces. Ole Miss has some solid pieces. Is this going to be a game where talent will bail out Alabama? It's at home. I think I'm talking myself into picking Alabama, but I think this is going to be one of those Alabama games where they're going to win. It's going to be ugly. And if you're a Bama fan, you're not exactly going to be feeling all that great about it. I think it's
Yep.
going to come down to a field goal kind of thing.
I'm thinking this is Ole Miss by a couple touchdowns is what I'm feeling
Really?
for
By a
this
couple of
game.
touchdowns.
Yeah, I feel like the team has been lost, and maybe Milrow will come back in and energize them again because maybe that's why they played so bad last week because they were mad about him being suspended or out or whatever the reason is. But I just feel like he doesn't give them the offensive they need to beat teams like this. I think Ole Miss is going to take advantage. I think Lane Kiffin's been waiting for this matchup. He's been waiting to get this victory over Nick Saban. He's going to